Oh wait, we be live, but just on
Hello.
YouTube and not on Twitch again. What the hell? Okay, Twitch is giving us a hard time. Let me just say AR News. Okay, so now we're live. Now we're live on YouTube and Twitch. Which is a good excuse. Twitch doesn't like our titles, so they didn't let me go live on Twitch. Twitch is a sensitive platform. But every time Twitch doesn't let us go live, I want to remind people that we're also live on Twitch. Link in the description. So thank you, Twitch, for giving us an excuse to talk about that. But yeah, we'll be live and we're going to be covering the news about religion-related issues, sometimes cultural stuff and political stuff, but mostly religion-related issues from an atheist perspective, one atheist perspective, which is ours, me and Susie's, right? And from around the world. So again, these are the characteristics of our show. It's religion-based news, atheist perspective, global. We like to emphasize that about how global we are. Not just our news is global, so it's not Western-centric, it's not Middle East focused, it's like everywhere, right? And Japan, Indonesia, India, Bangladesh, South Africa, Uganda, United States, Canada, all the way, everywhere in Europe, all of that. So, and also our audience is very global as well. Please tell everybody where you're watching from so we could brag about how global we are in the live chat. Thank you. And so, what countries are we covering today, Susie?
We have Denmark, Iran. We have a juicy story from Iran. I'm so excited to talk about this. Kenya, the United States, Indonesia, India, and Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. The Saudi story is like so wild.
Oh, by the way, can you tap your mic? I want to see if you're. I think that's that's the right mic. That's the right mic. Okay, look, Germany. People are watching, and Nico is watching from Germany. Norwegian Toby is watching from Norway. Toby. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Atheist Demon is watching from New Zealand. And wait, somebody's doing boing boing. It's echoing. It's echoing because Susie has no decorations in her room. Oh, Kuwait. Somebody, yeah. So that's why there's nothing wrong with our technicals. Everything is fine. It's Susie's room that is a problem. There's nothing we could do about that. Right?
I know.
Do you want to go hang?
Open the door.
I don't know. Hi from Pakistan. Do you want to open the door? Maybe you could spend some time like just hanging some decorations as we watch right now, so that maybe the echo goes away. we could wait. We could all wait. Yeah. Sam is watching from UK. Tesla is watching from hell. Okay.
Tesla, no.
People are saying yes, please. They want to watch you. They want to watch you decorate the room. Let's just how about we just spend the stream, the entirety of the stream, just while people would just sit back
helping me decide where to hang paintings and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Newman is saying definitely not from India. Why? Did you just move? Yeah.
International man of mystery.
Yeah. Okay, so should we just continue with do you want to open the door maybe to try it, or no? Should we just continue with the echo? It's fine. I think it's fine. Is it fine? Is the echo okay? Is it
let me
can you
try
tolerate it?
Second.
Okay. Turn it off. Yeah. Let's try with the door open. More. Okay, do as we say. Entertainment, like Jesus Christ. Maybe try opening the door. Okay, people are telling you to open the door. Oh, Newman might move soon. Okay, say something.
Oh, fun! That's exciting. How about now?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of echo, but it's much less than before.
Testing.
So yeah, the door helped.
Oh, that's significantly better. Yeah.
Significantly better. Yes.
Okay.
Still a little bit of echo, but much better. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, cool. Yeah, see,
we're troubleshooting together.
Liberal echo chamber. a literal liberal echo chamber.
Yeah, exactly,
So,
exactly. Oh my God.
yeah,
D,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
funny. Girl, you're so funny.
All right, let's get started with the news. We have a couple of news items. Is it tragic today? I can't do tragic today. Is it tragic? How
We
tragic?
have some like minor tragedy. Well, actually, one of them is like real tragedy. Okay, but most of it is not full tragedy.
Thank you. Let's pray
Vast
to Susie,
majority.
everyone. We should pray. We should start with a prayer to Susie for let the news not be tragic this week every time.
Okay,
Right?
if it is, I would just like to say that me and the team, particularly D, and Newman, who helps me find the news, okay,
Thank you.
we work very hard to try to find as many good stories as possible, but we cannot control what happens in the week before the show. And sometimes it's a bummer. And I'm literally talking to the two of them. I'm like, guys, we gotta find something. And they're like, I know, I'm trying, okay?
Yeah, you guys are you, D, and Newman are the trinity of the news that we have to pray to for the news not to be tragic. We could have that. We could have a ceremony
adorable. Okay, now we just have to decide like who is which part of the Trinity. Anyways.
Yeah. All right. Can we clap? So we can clap for the first news. I'm guessing.
Newman literally going, where am I supposed to find good news? Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Anyways.
All right, clappable, right? Clappable. First one.
Oh my God, I hate this. This actually pisses me off so much, but no one died, so we can clap.
Nobody died. Let us clap.
Yeah.
First news.
Good. First news. Betrayal of free expression. Denmark may outlaw Quran burnings. The Danish government has taken steps to formulate legal solutions to prevent the public desecration of the Quran and other religious texts, following a series of incidents in which the Islamic holy book was burned in Denmark and Sweden. These acts led to a hostile reaction, including the storming of the Swedish embassy in Iraq. Danish Foreign Minister, Lars Løkke Rasmussen, in an interview on July 30th, acknowledged the complexity of the task, stating, there must be room for religious criticism, and we have no thoughts of reintroducing a blasphemy clause. But when you stand in front of a foreign embassy and burn a Quran or burn the Torah scroll in front of the Israeli embassy, it serves no other purpose than to mock, end quote. Sweden's prime minister emphasized the severity of the situation, likening it to the country's most serious security policy situation since World War II. Well, Swedish Foreign Minister Tobias Billström has held talks with the Organization for Islamic Cooperation, or OIC. Both governments are clear in their condemnations of the quote-unquote Islamophobic acts, but are striving to ensure that any legal measures do not infringe on the deeply held value of free expression in both countries. So, here's the situation. Let me be clear, it is not that the Danish government is going to ban burnings of the Qurans in total, right? But there are people who are pushing to ban public desecrations of religious texts, specifically in public spaces like embassies. Specifically, like, it's mainly about doing this in front of an embassy that they're trying to like put some legislation around. And there's been some pushback, which I can discuss. And anyone who is from Sweden or Denmark is welcome to comment on this. I believe we have 2 people in our live chat right now who are within the relevant countries. So please give us your commentary. But Armin, what is your immediate reaction?
So can you have a protest in front of an embassy that is not burning a Quran? or a Torah or whatever?
Yes,
Okay.
based on my understanding.
Can you burn things in a protest or desecrate things in a protest in front of an embassy that is not the Quran or the Torah?
If it's not religious, so this has to do with religious
Mhm.
texts and symbols.
Okay. So why? So we're introducing a religious privilege, basically.
Yes.
So do they not see the problem with that? Do you not see that you're setting a precedent with allowing legally how dangerous it is to have in law a set of rules that applies for protection of religious beliefs and not other beliefs? Do you not see the double standard that you're introducing here within your law, which opens the door, which normalizes and opens the door for arguments to other privileges and double standards based on religious belief?
Actually, there's a lot of politicians in the opposition that are specifically calling that out.
Okay, good. But this is insane. The argument I heard you making, who said this is like this serves no interest other than mocking? Who made that point? That this was not.
The Danish foreign minister.
Okay, so is the Danish foreign minister saying that activities that are purely meant to mock and do nothing else are okay to make illegal? Like, if that's the argument, they're trying to make this something illegal, and the argument is that this serves nothing other than mocking. So what about other activities that are meant for nothing but mocking that are not targeting religion? Is that ban worthy? I mean, that argument makes no sense. Sometimes we want to mock. Why is that inherently ban worthy? How is that? How are they saying that, oh, we want to respect our free speech and say these things at the same time? You can't, if you say we want to respect our free speech laws, but this is just meant for mocking, you're contradicting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Free speech includes mocking.
Mm-hmm.
That's
especially
so bizarre.
Considering that like mockery and satire is actually one of the most like powerful forms of political commentary often.
See, if they want to ban things in front of embassies, then they better do it across the board over everything. You know what I mean? If this is having a major cost for security reasons for you, then just say no acts of protests total in general in front of embassies. At least make us be able to defend you because you're being consistent. Why is there a religious
that
privilege here?
position itself is indefensible. They would never go that far.
Then they can't go that. Then they can't take it. Then they shouldn't go. And then they shouldn't take even one step, because if they can't go that far, then anything short of it would be a double standard based on religion. These are religious privileges. Then either go full way or don't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
You are making a mockery out of your own standards, out of your own laws. This is a European countries, and some people get to mock because their target is not religion, and some people don't get to mock because of religion. You are now from a position of the government recognizing the legitimacy of religious claims. This doesn't just violate free speech, this also violates secularism, because you, from a position of government, are saying that beliefs that are centered around a deity and is officially being recognized as a religion are more deserving of protection than other beliefs. This contradicts secularism as well. Who is the government to say that to people? That makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, D is exactly saying this. She's saying, who gets to draw the quote unquote line? Who gets to have that authority? Are you comfortable with the state dictating that to you? It's a very deep question. But I want to read some of the statements by politicians in the opposition, because I think that they provided a good counterweight. And so this is from Denmark. So one of the opposition parties in a joint statement said, quote, all undersigned parties uphold fundamental Danish civil liberties are of the opinion that civil liberties must always take precedence over religious dogmas, they wrote. By giving into outside pressure, the government could also open the door to foreign countries interfering with national politics, the parties added. The veto of the, this is a very good quote. I loved this. The veto of the violent man must not prevail and must not set the boundaries for Danish politics and Danish democracy. Exactly. Yeah. Despite the protest, the government will continue to work towards preventing the burning of Quran's Minister of Justice, Peter Hummelgaard, told public broadcaster DR. So, and I think for me, this is really what it's about, the veto of the violent man, right? Are we, or are you as a society, willing to give up something that should be afforded to all citizens otherwise, because there is a violent man willing to inflict that violence upon others? And the question that was raised about foreign interference, or is also a very prescient question.
Do you want to? I want to show you a video of something that happened today, depending on where you're living. Actually, for you, it might be yesterday. Okay, but either today or yesterday, depending on where you are, right? Okay, so we're talking about Denmark and in front of embassies. Do you want to see a recent development?
Yeah, what happened?
Okay, watch this video. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to show you the beginning of the video, and you tell me first if you've seen it already or not. Have you seen this video? Unmute yourself.
I said no, but I can already see where this is headed. Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, so this
goodness.
This is what I've been asking for. I've been saying on the Persian show that, guys, the Iranians in Europe, don't let Sweden stand alone. Don't let Sweden stand alone. And this is in Denmark. We say Denmark, you say Denmark. An Iranian woman with the shirt, Women Life Freedom, in front of the Iranian embassy. Her name is Firuze Bazrafkan, and she is going to desecrate the Quran, but she is not going to burn the Quran. No. She is a responsible citizen.
Thank you.
Firuze wants to desecrate the Quran without causing any air pollution, and also without littering, without any garbage on the ground. Yes. So let's look how responsible of a citizen she's being. So she makes sure that she's not violating any rules or any moral code, reasonable moral code. Okay. So let's look at this. Okay.
Oh my goodness. For those who are listening,
by the way,
she's holding a cheese grater, and you see a little Quran on the mini table.
Also, warning to Muslims who might be watching, you are about to see a desecration of the Quran. So if you don't like that, don't watch this part. Okay, so you have been warned. Trigger warning here. Okay, so there we go.
Okay, she's displaying the cheese grater, displaying the Quran. Okay.
You have audio, right?
Yes. Is that an urn? Oh, it's the trash can.
Trash can. She's a responsible citizen. She wants to make sure that there's no objection to what she's doing. She's tearing up the Quran.
What's her method here? How is she going to use the cheese grater? Oh, I see. Okay, so she's going to ball it up and then use the cheese grater. I thought she was going to take the cheese grater to the side of the book. Okay.
She's making sure that she doesn't get garbage on the ground. So no garbage, no littering, no violation of city rules. No contribution to carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Very clean. See? Nothing gets on the ground. She's also making sure that, look, she gets it, gathers it.
She's very methodical.
Yes. Puts the garbage in the garbage can. More pages. So yeah, it just continues like that.
So
Anyways,
has this gone viral, or like what's been the reaction to this? I haven't seen
this. This just got out. And the important part of this video, the reason why I was asking Iranian people in Europe to do that is because they're migrants. So this is not a right-leaning anti-immigration thing. So for you to be like, oh my God, right-leaning people, anti-immigration, they are migrants themselves, right? 2, the Iranian people, especially Iranian people within the women's, woman life freedom, the Mahsa revolution, have been getting a lot of political capital in Europe, and there's a lot of mass support among the people and politicians for their revolution in Europe, so they can use that political capital to fight for free speech right now in Europe. Because it's really easy right now when right-leaning people do that, when far-right people do that, it's really easy to demonize the acts because these are horrible people, like the far-right people, right? But when people in Europe that have a lot of politicians and a lot of people come in like, yes, women life freedom and all that, when those people come do that, it's hard to demonize the person now at this moment. And that's why it's hard to also demonize the act. So I was saying that Iranian people in Europe, Sweden is standing alone and is paying a heavy price for standing up for free speech. We need to make this cost, be shared by other European countries. Other European countries need to also see that it's difficult to ban this, especially when somebody like that, politicians in Denmark, it's hard for them to come condemn this person like this. There's not going to be that support. And also because Islamic countries have now threatened Sweden with cutting ties from Sweden, like, I don't know, Iran, Turkey, Iraq, some other Islamic countries, Pakistan, and they're threatening Sweden. But it's hard for these Islamic countries to do this if this is happening in more European countries, because what are you going to do? Cut ties with, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 European countries? Like, sure, go ahead,
Yeah.
like, let's see what you're, you can't do that. So that's why I think the cost needs to be if these countries stand together, it's going to be difficult for Islamic countries to isolate them and make them regret standing up for free speech. So I think it's a very useful use of this political capital to make sure Europe stays Europe. Europe stays, because Europe is under attack right now, and not by people, by certain ideas. And not by just ideas coming from certain immigrants, but also ideas coming from, European people themselves, revisiting the values and the freedoms and the rights that made these countries so great. Revisiting them and considering going back on them is basically destroying what made this country a place that these immigrants want to go to begin with.
Ooh.
And And these immigrants who have chosen these European countries as their destination, I think it's good that they protect the things that they made these countries such a good destination. Because a lot of these Europeans themselves don't understand people who come from places where they don't have such freedoms, especially people who are not religious, because religious people, a lot of religious people, their priorities are not this world, right?
Mhm.
But immigrants who come from less free countries, less stable countries, less countries that have less of a respect for human rights, when they come to these countries, if they want to keep these countries the way they are, because they understand that they come from countries, they know what it's like to be in a country where you don't enjoy such freedoms. So it's good if they decide to put this responsibility on themselves to remind those people what they need to be fighting for. Anyways, I've been speaking for so long.
No. I completely agree. I think it's a really, really important point to bring up. I wanted to read some responses in the live chat from people in Denmark and Sweden, because I think that's like really helpful feedback. And also sometimes, obviously, because it's your own country in a different language, you have more details and news than what I receive all the way on the other side of the world. So Watcher, who is in Sweden, who said banning it in front of embassies and mosques, I would be fine with. I know that much. So what do you think about like it being specific to location? They'd be like, okay, this is really just about, it's not like appropriate in these certain spots.
No. If they want to, I would not be okay with them banning it in front of embassies or mosques, unless they have the same standards for everything else. Right? So, for example, if you're banning this in front of mosques, would Muslims be banned to come and protest in front of an atheist gathering? Like, let's say we have an atheist conference in Denmark. Or if Muslims want to come out, not inside the conference, but outside of it, across the street, if they want to come and protest and maybe have desecrations of certain books of atheists or satanic temple, is that going to be banned? The point is, like, in front of embassies, if I don't know, for example, the US government invaded a country, and people in Sweden or Denmark want to come in front of the US embassy and protest against that and burn the American flag, would that be banned? And if you want to ban all of this, how far where's the line? Like, what is the standards? Because right now the standards seems to be religion, no, everything else okay. That is not all right. You need to have this is double standard. So this is a form of double standard. So I don't agree with that. Do you agree with that, Susie?
I agree with you. Yeah.
I mean, protest. If you don't want to have protesting in front of embassies is the main way that you show your disagreement with the policies of a certain country. So how could you ban all of? You can't ban all of that. Are you going to ban like all forms of like desecrations? Because that's a form of protest in front of embassies. So you can't ban protesting in front of embassies, given that how successful of a tool that is to show your disagreement with certain countries. And if you're allowing protests, are you going to disallow certain desecrations? So what? I can't burn the Quran. Can I shred the Quran like we saw? If I can't shred the Quran, can people in other protests, can people not shred other material? Like, can I not shred the Constitution of the United States? Or like if a bill is being passed and I'm, as an act of protest, I want to shred that bill, can I not shred that? It makes no sense. I mean, this does seem like a slippery slope fallacy, but it's not, because we're talking about the law. It's a slippery slope fallacy. It's a logical fallacy when you say A leads to B and B leads to C and you don't show how. But because we're talking about the law, within the legal system, when you introduce a law, it does set a precedent. If a ruling by a court or a law, that's how the legal system works. It's not a slippery slope fallacy, because setting a precedent for other things is exactly how the legal system works. So this is not fear mongering that say, oh, this will lead to this, and we are able to back it up when we say this will lead to that, we are able to back it up because that's how the law works. Does that make sense what I'm saying? How this is not a slippery slope fallacy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watcher also said, over time I found that book burning does convey a deep hatred for ideas, and that will inevitably make people feel threatened if you flat out burn what someone holds really dear, religious or not.
Make feel threatened. Okay, actually, it's the other way around. The people who are threatening Muslims, so if you allow them to, if you say this is bad, if you spread the narrative that this is a bad thing to do, this is anti-Muslim and threatens them and makes them feel uncomfortable, right? And this is anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim, then the people who are going to listen to you are the people who are tolerant over Muslims and immigrants. And the people who are left doing that will be people who are actually threatening Muslims. And what you have done is that you have given a certain way of expressions to be exclusive to those people who are threatening. And that's why you're making that form of expression actually threatening. When you have immigrants themselves do this, or when you have people who are not anti-immigrant or anti-Muslims, people who actually come and express that we are in defense of Muslims and immigrants, their rights, do this, then that message will make this activity less threatening, because you're inviting, you cannot, and here's another thing, using the argument that something is threatening, so let's limit free speech, is basically the idea of giving up liberty for security, which is a very dangerous trade-off. I understand that there are certain things that you might have an issue. Like, obviously, everything that you do, there might be some cost associated with it. But the bigger cost is giving up on your rights of free expression. So you have to do a cost benefit. I understand that if I burn the Quran or if I desecrate the Quran, there will be certain people that would be bothered by it or upset about it. And I don't want, that's not the intention. That's just a damage that unfortunately has to be tolerated, because the consequences of not fighting for freedom of expression is a lot higher. Watcher is saying fair points. Thank you.
Trells, who is in Denmark, said the government has not specified which exact legal avenue it would take. For example, we have various public order statutes that could, in theory, be used to intervene. They also suggested looking at what other countries do, where public burnings in general is considered akin to arson and thus not allowed, but they have not decided so far. So I thought that that was really helpful additional context that Charles provided. So thank you from our local friendly Dane.
Yeah. I mean, I'm completely okay with saying no burnings in general, the Quran or anything else, okay? Because we have other forms of desecration, like a cheese shredder, as you just saw. But if you say no burnings at all for everything, then that's okay. That's a consistent rule. It's not about it being religion. It's about, like, we don't like fires in public spaces. That's okay.
We got some suggestions about types or forms of Quran desecration. So Shika, she's saying you should urinate on a Quran as protest. Well, here's the thing. He already has.
Wait, me? No, I haven't.
Yes, you did.
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago.
But I didn't share.
You didn't post a video of it, but you did. You technically did.
You
tweeted about how you did.
Yes. I don't want to. People get grossed by that. Okay, but guys, it's just like in the toilet. Okay, that's not.
Yeah.
Not shit. Yeah.
Okay, I apologize.
I didn't post it anywhere. Okay, nobody wants to see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Tesla, from our Persian side of Atheist Republic, he said, but Armin Navabi's method, which was accompanied by dance, was the best method for this work. Can you bring up that video?
Oh my god. No, because it has music. I don't know if it's copyrighted.
Oh man. Okay, guys, on the On the Persian side of AR, Armin recently did a Quran ripping dance because there are other Persian atheist commenters basically saying that desecration is immoral. And then he was raised to the question of like, okay, but what about these other artists that do form of blasphemy and stuff? What do you think about that? And they're like, oh, well, that's fine because that's art. So he did a Quran ripping dance as his artistic expression and then beg the question, what is art? When do you get to decide what is and is not art?
Right.
So, and the funniest thing is, like, our community took and put music behind it and everything, and like made it a little clip, like with Persian music. It was, yeah. Obviously, the music is copyrighted and stuff. I wish we could play it. It was so good.
I can post a link to it in the description. How about that? Should I do that? Wait.
Oh, we have our own video for it now. Nice. And we have a number of super chats from Gasian American. So thank you, Gasian. So and he's begging some very thought-provoking questions. So I would like us all to consider: is writing the Quran in disappearing ink blasphemous, or is the chemical reaction an act of God? Because there's like a tradition in Eastern calligraphy about doing calligraphy in water, and it like evaporates, and that itself is
it's not about eliminating the Quran that is the problem. Okay, it's about the act of disrespect. Okay, so people are saying, oh, is deleting a PDF a problem? No, because nobody sees deleting nobody will see deleting a PDF file as an act of disrespect. Do you understand what I'm saying? So writing a Quran in a disappearing ink, like people think like, oh, the Quran burning, people are upset about it because the Quran is being deleted or like removed. No. I mean, within the Islamic tradition, they themselves have a way of disposing of the Quran, getting, it's just like the act of burning something is like seen as an attack on it. Anyways, yeah.
These live chat reactions. Bro pissed on the Quran and didn't even remember it. What? When you blaspheme so much, you start forgetting some of it.
I mean, it wasn't a big deal. It was just like, okay, so you just tear apart and throw it in the washroom, and before you flush, you take, you piss. So, but that's not a big deal. It's not that hard. Why did you have to bring that? I didn't consent to this being shared. I don't know why I didn't ask.
You tweeted about it.
I know, but
you
like,
made it public.
I know, but like, we're trying to give trigger warning to people now before we talk about these. This is a new standard.
I figured, but this whole segment has been about this topic. So if someone hasn't tapped out by now, if they're offended, that's on them. Fine. Sorry for embarrassing you or making you uncomfortable.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm just saying that I want to be more the standard. We have a new standard. Okay. Anyways, never mind. Continue.
Okay. Gasian also said, would it be easier? Wouldn't it be easier to just ban all burning for environmental reasons?
I'll go pee on it again if you want. I'll go pee on it again if you think I'm embarrassed.
Well, it sounds like there's some people in the live chat that like to see that.
They're pervs. These are pervs in the live chat.
Yeah, Newman gave a super chat saying, I need the peeing on the Quran video, and Adam Rickster is also asking.
Okay, you guys are weird.
For this video.
Okay, there's a reason why I didn't post that video, because of this, because of you guys. All right, continue. Let's move on. I don't like this conversation.
Okay, Gasian is raising the point of wouldn't it be easier just to ban all burnings for environmental reasons? I think we kind of touched on this earlier, where you were basically saying if it's consistent, then it's worth considering.
Yeah, I mean, I don't burn the Quran anymore. I just spit on. Okay. So when I want to desecrate the Quran, okay, I do something that is actually more insulting than burning. Okay, I spit on the Quran, I tear it apart, and then I throw it. Okay, and I do one page at a time rather than doing the entire Quran. So I save a whole bunch of Qurans, right? So I think it's more insulting. It's more environmentally friendly. It's less dangerous. Like people might burn their house down trying to do something, right? I think it's a more responsible way to do it. Okay, and also less costly because you're not doing the entire Quran. You're doing one page at a time.
Okay. Gation American is also asking, can I spray paint Quran verses on the floor, making it impossible to not step on it? And then would washing it off be blasphemous?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. I don't recommend it. I don't want to. If I desecrate the Quran, I want to make it so that people who don't like it are able to not see it. Right? If you are doing something that people are forced to make it life difficult for them, if a Muslim doesn't want to step the Quran, they shouldn't be finding the Quran on the ground. When I desecrate the Quran, any Muslim who doesn't want to see it wouldn't see it. If you write it on the ground, that's just making people's lives difficult. Washing it off would not be blasphemous, again, because I already pointed out it's not deleting the Quran or removing the Quran that they find offensive. It's just an act that is obviously meant to insult, that is insulting. And it's a good. I mean, I'm okay with insulting, but I'm just saying what is insulting is not just the removal of the Quran.
Yeah. And I like, Gation American has one of the most creative brains I've ever encountered, and he comes up with some interesting scenarios, to say the least. And we got a super chat from Erkin saying, if it were to thank you for the super chat, Erkin, saying if it were to ban burning a book, then it should be applied to all books, secular or religious. Then we'd at least protect the culture. So yeah, this is basically what we touched on a second ago.
Exactly. Thank you for exactly. I agree with that completely. Yeah. All right. So I want to highlight these oxymoron chats because did you deselect one of them?
Well, it was
so how many? Oh, it was a repeat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was completely a repeat. Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So because this has nothing to do with the news items, so I'm just going to quickly go over them. We got another super chat from Gage in America, so I just said as well. Oxymoron is saying AR covered BAP's temple, is that what you did? Of USA for caste discrimination in extremely vitriolic manner. Judicial system found accusation against the temple made up, despite repeatedly pointing out there was no follow-up. Well, actually, the way we covered that news very responsibly, I remember every time we cover things like this, we say like, well, this remember, people be skeptical. This might not be the case. We have to wait for the results to be able to make a determination of what's happening here. I remember us being very responsible about it, unlike how Oxymoron is describing it. Also, Oxymoron doesn't seem to understand how the judicial system works. It's not that they found the accusations to be made up. That's not how the court system works. Is if you don't have enough evidence to back up something, the court doesn't come up and make a claim. So this is what I notice a lot of Hindutva people do as well. A lot of religious people in general do when they see a claim, the court not being able to prove something that somebody they like did wrong. They think that this is a proof that thing doesn't happen. That thing might still have happened. It's just that there is not enough evidence to make the claim. So it's not like they are claiming that the accusation was made up. That's not at all how the legal system works, and that comes from a very basic understanding and naive understanding of how anything works within the legal system. And also, there was no follow-up because we cover stuff that we think that our audience finds interesting, and the follow-up on that news didn't seem that interesting. Yeah, so there's that.
Is that the fact of people in the live chat saying, like, asking him not to talk about this stuff?
Yeah. So here, even as he points out, so we're saying that our audience is already bored by guys. I'm gonna answer this and I'm gonna move on. Okay, Oxymoron is saying AR devotedly pushed conspiracy prevalence of casteism in U.S. Hindus. That's not a conspiracy. That's the thing. When Brahmin employees got cleared, coverage turned thin enough for to leave lingering doubts about possible casteism. Why the deficit? Okay, so no, this is not a conspiracy. Not just U.S. Hindus, wherever Hindus are, you will see casteism. That's something, unfortunately, that people bring with them. I mean, prevalence, I don't know if it's prevalent. but it does exist. Okay, it's just a natural thing. People, when they migrate, they bring some of their culture with them, the good and the bad. That's something that happens everywhere. Yeah, and they see, I don't understand the
It's not.
list of
I
it.
think
I
it's
don't
worth
understand.
saying that it's not like inherent to these people, though, and you shouldn't assume
No.
that when you meet someone that is Hindu, you shouldn't assume that they have that
Yes,
belief.
that's
But I know
exactly.
that this is something that is experienced here in America because I talk to my friends about it, and some of them have actually told me that they have never seen it be as explicit in India as it is in the U.S. They were shocked.
Yeah, and this
But
is
that's
something that
anecdotal, right? And I can acknowledge that that's anecdotal. But I have people in my
yeah,
life that tell me about this, right?
yeah,
Firsthand.
but we're not. I mean, that's why I'm saying that I don't know about the prevalence. I know about the existence. That's a very easy claim to make. That's not a very extraordinary claim. And the existence of it doesn't mean that you see it in every Hindu. Obviously, you don't. Okay, in fact, you probably, on average, won't. In fact, many Hindus might be in the U.S. might be shocked that such a thing exists within the U.S. among Hindus, right? But all I'm saying is that it's completely reasonable to assume that some of the bad culture travels when people travel, but with any people. Okay, so I mean, if for example, if Americans, if I don't know, certain Americans have this white supremacist attitude, and guess what? When they travel, and by the way,
Here's an
Americans don't like to
example.
call. Let me
American
make my
Christian
point, please.
evangelicals.
Oh.
They import homophobia.
Exactly. And let me complain about American immigrants a little bit to you. You know what American immigrants call themselves? They don't call themselves immigrants, because immigrants for dirty poor people from backward countries. The word expat I think has been created so that you don't call yourself an immigrant.
Literally, it's so stupid. Yeah. I'm not an immigrant. I'm an American expat.
I'm an
Okay.
expat. So the supremacist. So just like Americans, when they travel, that supremacist attitude, they take that with them wherever they go. The casteist attitude that many Hindus have, they take that wherever. When some of them take that with them where they go. It's completely unavoidable, I think. So yeah. Okay. So
But we don't essentialize.
we don't essentially, yeah, and again, because it's cultural, that means that it's not inherent within people's ethnicity. Of course it's not. Yeah. So again, I like how oxymoron gives us an excuse to brag about how good we are every time. No, seriously, because I'm so proud, Susie. I am so proud of how responsible we are when we cover the news. And I think oxymoron keeps trying to show the opposite. And for me, every time he does that, it's a great way to remind our audience about actually how careful we are about making sure that we are not spreading hatred against any group of people. So thank you, oxymoron, for that.
Yeah, I don't want to be uncritical towards ourselves, right? Because that is really important
Right.
to me. But
Yes.
I do really try my best. But I fail.
Yeah, we are
That's
trying.
okay.
Yeah, that's what we do. We're trying. Gagin American gave us a super chat. You want to read this one?
Asian American with again some of the most creative ideas for blasphemy and desecration. Honestly, Gasian, you should start like writing these down and put them in a zine. Thank you for the super chat. Saying so detachable dance plates with a Quran on it. What is a detachable dance plate?
How about you make a video, Gagin American, and show us what that means?
Facts. Gasian American, he sends me DMs of his calligraphy of like blasphemous stuff and like woman life freedom. It's awesome. Okay, yeah.
Okay, seriously, we need to get to the next news. Selva celebrating 20 months of membership, saying late for the party. Thank you, Selva, for being a member. And Newman saying, guys, by the way, oxymoron is a casteist himself. Exactly. I don't know why he's even.
I I don't know if I don't know if I want to
Yeah, maybe
defend this
not.
guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he is a full-blown castus. He definitely is a
Yeah.
self-proclaimed racist, so that's not cool.
Fascist. He's a self-proclaimed fascist as well.
And a self-proclaimed racist.
Right. So there
It's
we go.
pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
Okay. Can we? Okay, I'm gonna. When you read this, I'm gonna go for a washroom break. But can we clap for this? Oh,
This one's
is
so
wild.
good.
Okay, I'm gonna clap for it. Okay, but wait for me to put myself down before you start. Next news.
Gay sex tape exposes Islamic cleric in Iran and discredits the regime. A series of sex scandals involving Iranian officials, including now there's a new one, including the cleric Mehdi Shinas, has ignited widespread outrage in Iran over the regime's hypocrisy regarding homosexuality. Shinas was found to have had sexual relations with the husband of his wife's sister, and his explicit chats with his brother-in-law were posted online. These revelations have led to condemnation, not for the same-sex relationships themselves, but for the stark contrast between the public stance of the regime and the private actions of its officials. An anonymous Iranian observer commented, quote, "Corruption has become institutionalized in the system, and loyalty has turned into a commodity that can be bought and sold. But this is not the main problem. Value paradigms have been lost too. What they preach to the people is no longer credible to anyone anymore, even to many of their diehard supporters." The scandals are particularly resonant in light of Iran's Sharia-based penal code, under which same-sexual relationships are punished by death, underscoring this perceived hypocrisy of the officials involved. So, okay, Armin, come back. Oh my goodness.
Read this comment first by Eric. Eric
is saying, didn't you post the same news last week? No, it's a new one.
It's not.
It's a new one. Okay, and this is all coming out of a northern province in Iran called Gilan. And so these are all, if you're an official in Gilan and you have some dirt, I bet you're shaking in your boots right now, because Tesla is raising the point that Radio Gilan, who's the reporter, is saying that they have like 12 more videos left to expose people. Yeah. It's wild. So there is this cleric, and he was caught with his wife's sister, the husband of his wife's sister. So his sister-in-law's husband, aka his brother-in-law, right?
Yeah.
And it is wild. Okay, so Armin, tell me everything you know about this, because there's a little bit of information in English, but not that much in English. So I want you to give me the juicy details.
Well, I can't. We will get back. The video is like very explicit, by the way.
What? No,
you can see a little bit.
Tell
you
me.
Can see the beginning. Have you watched it? Have you seen it?
No,
Everybody's been watching it.
I haven't found it.
I can't. I saw the beginning of it, and I couldn't.
Why?
I mean, I can't watch gay porn. It's basically. I can't. I don't know. I'm sorry. I tried to do my research, but I'm sorry. I can't watch that. So I'll send the video to you. You want to watch? By the way, is it wrong for us to watch it? They did not consent to watching the video, so I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. But oh my god, that's wild. Okay. Apparently, I heard about this recently. There was also a sex scandal that happened because they exposed video of another official who's involved in morality policing and stuff. He was caught on video smoking opium and masturbating at the same time. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
There was a third
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Smoking
all, I don't know
opium and
why they're all
drinking it.
coming out. They're all these video coming out from right at close to the anniversary of the Massa's revolution.
Mhm.
All the, you know what how the significance of these videos of all these mullahs effing each other, right? And the videos coming. First of all, who's recording these videos? Like, why are they being recorded? Like,
I was literally about to ask that. Why are all these men recording this?
I don't understand. Like Tesla, maybe highlight like star Tesla's comments because he has some. He's when I was like Tesla. Okay, never mind. I shouldn't say that. But anyways, Tesla has a lot of good information. I don't know what I can say. Let me know what. Let me tell you something I know I can say. So, do you understand the significance of all these explicit sexual videos with these religious people with each other? Do you know what the significance is with regards to the Master's Revolution, the current life, Zanzibar, the woman life freedom revolution that is happening in Iran? What is the significance between these two? Yes.
Well, my guess would be that it's showing that the very same men that are responsible for enforcing terror on the population are involved in this very same activity that they
Yeah, but that was always
harm other people.
But that was always the
for.
case. Yeah, that hypocrisy would have been highlighted even if Massa's revolution was not a thing. But what is specific about Massa's revolution that now it's being connected to all of these videos?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so because the narrative from these people, from pro-regime and religious people about Massa's revolution was that these people, they are fighting for degeneracy. The point of Massa's revolution, when they say freedom, woman, life, freedom, they're saying freedom for these people means degeneracy. These are people who want to get naked. These are the people who want to come and have sexual relationships with each other with no consequences. That's how they portray their Massa's revolution. And when this happens, what people say is like, you are like, you be the degenerates. I mean, that's not fair to say because this is, to me, this is not degeneracy, but you are the ones who are doing what you claim that your enemy is trying to accomplish. And the interesting thing is, like, somebody in the live chat was asking, I think it was Bengali Hindu, what will happen to that mullah? Nothing, right?
In fact, they tell the population that it's actually against the Sharia to put these videos out there and expose these men. Versus people have been executed on fake charges for much less. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But this has been so damaging to the narrative of the regime. And this is causing, here's the thing, a lot of religious people who support the regime, they think that they are supporting the regime to stop degeneracy. So these videos leaking is very helpful for religious people to be like, what the hell am I even defending? If I'm worried about degeneracy, so-called degeneracy, it's already happening. And these people not only are doing it, they're also protecting it. So why am I being so defensive for a regime if I'm worried about these types of activities increasing without the regime? The regime itself is doing these activities. So it's causing a lot of self-doubt from the people who are the base of the regime, the people who are very supportive of the regime. These videos, when they come out, they're like, okay, even if they don't join the revolution, what they say is like, well, I'm not going to defend the Islamic Republic as strongly as before. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's part of what this commentator that was anonymously sourced by Iran International was talking about, saying like, they're credible to no one anymore. They used to have some form of credibility with the regime or their base, and now they, even with their base, they have no credibility. No credibility. And it's especially bad because this new cleric that had the sex with his brother-in-law, he is involved in what's it called? A ribbon baroof? A ribbon baroof? The
Amr b'maruf. Oh, Amr b'maruf wa nahy anil munkar. Yes.
Yeah. The promulgation of good and the forbidding of evil. So can you explain like what that means and then why that's relevant to his position as a cleric and why that makes this worse?
So it's Islamically Muslims' duty to go tell people to try to pressure them to do good and stop them from doing evil, right? And these people are exactly the people who are in charge of that role, within the government. And so, I mean, or they're religious enough to see that as a duty for themselves. So when they are themselves doing acts like this, people are finding it so hypocritical when they are going and telling other people how to be moral. I mean, I know how they might defend it. They might defend it the way that religiously you would defend that is like, listen, you don't have to be pure to go and get other people to do good things. Like, even if you have sins yourself, you still should do your duty and try to get people to not live sinful lives, even if you're a sinner yourself, right? So that's how they would defend it. But again, that doesn't sell within the secular. That's a religious narrative which doesn't sell within this among the secular population because they see it as hypocrisy.
So what do you think will be kind of like the longer term fallout from this? Like, because apparently there are more videos that need to be exposed. God damn. Like, what is... I know that there are some officials somewhere in Gilan like bracing themselves like, what is going to come down this pipeline? What's coming down the pipeline next? But where do you think this goes from here?
I don't know. I just think the tensions are getting more. Like, we just recently saw a speech from the Khamenei himself telling two religious people and his supporters to please do not give up hope. No, not Khamenei himself, like religious one of Khamenei's defenders in his presence. Like, Khamenei was sitting there and he was sitting right where in the same place Khamenei was, and he was addressing a crowd and telling all these fanboys of Khamenei to please do not give up hope, which showed to us that we were all right all this time about how so many religious people are losing hope and they don't feel as loyal to the regime and Khamenei as much as before, because it was a public speech to a religious audience to please don't leave Ali alone, comparing Imam Ali of the Shias to Ali Khamenei, or please don't leave Hussein alone, comparing Hussein to Ali Khamenei. So just like people left Imam Ali alone or Imam Hussein alone, he was telling people, basically they were begging people not to leave Khamenei alone, which does suggest that they themselves are admitting that religious people are not backing them as much as they used to because of stuff like this. Yeah.
Sorry. In my head, I just came up with a really good Persian joke, but it's like really inappropriate.
Don't say it.
About this whole situation.
Right.
It was about Gazvin.
Oh, no. Don't say that.
Okay.
We don't. I do not endorse that joke at all. Okay. So highlights. Let's do the highlight of the comments because we need to go to the
Zaid is saying, is the entire Iranian government gay?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being gay, just to be clear. Though.
No. It's just a joke, like, with all these videos coming out. Is that...
Yes.
Oh my God. And Tesla, he must have seen the video.
So he's admitting it himself because okay, so I didn't know if he wants to share this or not because I saw when the video dropped, he was like, "Okay, I gotta go watch this." Like he was like he was on it. I was like, I think he enjoyed watching that a lot. So yeah, Tesla, read this.
So from someone who's seen the video, he's saying it was extremely hot and romantic, just like the videos on Pornhub. But it is strange that the two men are
Don't say
fat,
that.
bearded, and hairy.
Yeah, it was two bears basically going at it. Okay, so yeah, so okay, I already answered that one. What do you want? You highlighted this one.
Yeah, Tesla was also pointing out that last year, kind of in the middle of when stuff with the Masa Revolution was kicking off, I believe that was the timing. There was a video that came out of a TV journalist and presenter who was in like a regime state media guy who was in the
Yes.
office watching adult content. Yeah, and masturbating. That was
this video is not gonna get monetized. Stop saying stop saying that.
So-
Self-pleasuring.
Okay.
Self-pleasure.
And then Mariam June, so sweet.
Thank
She
you.
had a very nice thing to say. She said, Armin is the best damn commentator in both Persian and English. I'm so grateful for him and Susie Q. Oh, Mariam, you're so sweet.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see you back in the live chat, Mariam. I missed you.
Yeah, me too. So we got another super chat from Oxymoron. I know people are bored with these comments, so I'm just gonna quickly address it. Oxymoron is saying, so it's not all wrong to peddle love jihad's theory, pointing at how Pakistan forcefully convert Hindu women and prevalence of hatred for non-Muslim women, pointing out UK's grooming gangs at or AJMER 1992. Okay, so yeah, love jihad is a conspiracy theory that a lot of Hindus believe in and has been proven to be a conspiracy theory, and we have a lot of evidence for that it is a conspiracy theory. So, and also we didn't deny that grooming gangs are a thing in the UK, so I don't know
also,
what you're talking about.
we talk about forceful conversions of Hindu women in Pakistan like more than anyone I know. Besides
we do.
Hara Sultan. Like,
yeah.
I have zero problem with people talking about that. I want more people to talk about that.
The love jihad conspiracy theory is not that. It's something else. He just doesn't understand. But yeah. So yeah, guys, when you hear love jihad, that's a nonsensical conspiracy theories that some Hindus, not all Hindus, believe in. If you go do your research, you will see that it's a complete nonsense, and people who believe in it are just either dishonest or lack research skills or racist, like oxymoron. Okay, can we clap for the next news?
Yeah, I just like to say, Adam, I think your comment is a bit generalizing towards Indians, and I don't really like that. So I just wanted to address that. But
yes,
yeah,
guys, don't be racist towards Indians. Okay, me and Susie. Sometimes I unintentionally say something that might come off as generalizing towards Indians or Hindus, and Susie is right here to catch me. Okay. Because I don't think like that. I don't think in general terms about groups of people. So, but sometimes if I say it, it's because I wasn't being careful with my words. So we try to keep each other in check.
We live stream for hours. Armin every day, me every week. Sometimes, this is the risk of doing things live. This is what you have to deal with. Okay. And Adam
is saying, okay.
Okay, Sue. Lovely. Thank you, Adam. I love it. See, it's that easy. Really, it's that easy.
Great.
Hell yeah.
Love you guys.
Yes. So let's go to our.
Oh, by the way, I was people on the Persian show. People were asking me about religious radicalism in India and how it's such a harmful thing to India on the Persian show, and people were so interested in what I had to say, right, about how far right Hindu nationalism is such a cost to India, right, and how it's like damaging Indian politics. However, I knew that a lot of my audience would take that and think like, oh, Armin is saying India bad, right? And I followed up. I was so proud of myself with following up by saying this. Remember, guys, India is headed for progress. Don't let the
Facts.
negative things that I'm saying to you about India think less. India has so many good things going for it. And
Facts.
one thing that I love about India is its entrepreneurial spirits, the a large pool of young, driven community of people that seem to be going for it, and nothing seems to be able to stop it. And I'm like, this next generation of India is going to take over.
Ambitious, killing it.
Yeah, and I was like, that, as much as I highlight the problems with India, based on what I'm saying, India is going to turn into an economic superpower, and it's going to take over. It's going to be a force to reckon with. And I wanted to make sure that I add that, so that my words were not being taken as a way for people to hate India or Indians, because I wanted to make sure that I highlight the positive as well.
The hustle is real. I respect it. I went to a party recently, and it was just like a normal party on this rooftop. And I swear to God, most of the people there, I just showed up, were from India. I was like, oh, what the fuck? I'm in a minority in my own country. It was awesome. And then I ended up having this conversation with this dude that got super drunk. And then it was the funniest thing in the world to watch this guy explain casteism to me while drunk off his face. It was amazing. Sorry, it was such a funny experience. It was such a funny experience. I really wished you could have been there. Anyways.
That's fine. Oh, I just want to also highlight. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I also want to highlight this compliment. Thank you so much. Abhijan is saying, I love your emotional commitment to maintaining a good, reasonable messaging. It's really based. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Someone is saying that I'm exposed as a white supremacist. What the fuck? It's
what,
literally
you?
like, if you, especially because my city is like less diverse than other cities I'm living in. So the probability of me showing up and that happening was like lower, right? So it's just surprising. Yeah. But it made me so excited. I was actually at this party, and I was like, I'm so glad that I live in a city where this is my experience. I actually think that that's like a strength of my city. And I'm so excited that these people came to my country and they're bringing their high degree of talent like to my country. It's so valuable. I was like literally sitting at this party like, wow, this is awesome.
Gage an American using his membership annual or like monthly membership reminder to tell us another ideas for blasphemy. Twist their Quran edition. Thank you.
Gage, I hope you're writing these all down somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Abhijan is saying, you said that phrase that racists say, but in the complete opposite way.
Good. All right, can we clap for the next news?
We don't like this, but no one died.
No one died. Okay. Next news.
No hijab, no healthcare. Iran's shocking new measure. In a shocking move that has sparked outrage, health authorities in the northern Iranian city of Lahijan issued an edict demanding that women not wearing their hijab correctly or not wearing a headscarf should be denied health care. This stringent order aligns with the regime's strict enforcement of its mandatory hijab law, but fails to provide any guidelines on emergency situations where immediate treatment might be necessary. The directive has drawn strong reactions from human rights activists, journalists, and Iranians on social media. Iranian human rights lawyer Kambiz Norouzi described the decree as, quote, by far the most blatant contravention of Iranian women's legitimate civil and human rights and against all civilized norms, adding that, quote, sending such a letter to our health authorities is unique in the medical world and means that if a woman is at risk of serious injury or even death, that needs treatment, that health professionals should not serve her just because she did not wear a hijab. That is tantamount to committing a criminal act. This incident has fueled comparisons to extremist practices and has been likened to historical instances of explicit religious supremacy. So, did you see this post?
Yeah.
Did you
It's
hear about this on
insane.
social media? Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
I saw
Um,
one person saying that this is like a national thing, and then other people are like, there isn't
no,
evidence that this
no,
is
no, no,
national. This is just this region.
no. This was. I think it was just like a couple of hospitals. It's not as widespread, but it got such a negative reaction, and I don't think anybody's gonna follow that. Honestly, nobody's
Mhm.
gonna follow that. I mean, maybe a few people. I don't know. I don't think I mean, yeah. So it was a letter. It was by the way, this hasn't turned into law. There's no law. This is a letter. So here's the thing: the way that the enforcement in Iran works, sometimes it's kind of messy. The way sometimes people don't understand that something is not a law, but it's being enforced by intimidation. The whole arresting people for not having hijab in the streets all this time was based on no law. Did you know that? This was just people were enforcing the just things, right?
Wait, what are you saying? The mandatory hijab is the law. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but the law did not give the authority to anybody to go and arrest people and put them in the van or stuff like that. All this time they were been doing it without having no authority to do that.
Wait,
All this
what?
time. Yeah.
Wait, Gasher
And for
and
example,
had no authority? What are you telling me?
I mean, they had the authority to go tell people, I don't know, please cover your hijab. They had no authority to arrest people like all this time that they did. Also, like for example, closing down businesses. So businesses in Iran now like are getting shut down left and right for allowing women to come shop there without a hijab. Right?
Yeah.
This is not on the books. There's no law that allows you to do that. In fact, you're violating the law by doing, like, a lot of people coming out like, yeah, you don't have the authority to shut down stores. The people who are shutting down the stores have no authority to do it, but they're doing it. So when you see a letter like this being sent to the hospitals, whoever is sending that letter is just hoping it's not something that is in the law that is forcing the hospitals to do that. It's just used to work as an intimidation. People just listen because I got this from the government. I don't want to get in trouble, right? I don't know. Like, people didn't go and be like, well, technically, my rights says that you can't do this to me. Like, okay, do you want to get beaten up? Like, what are you gonna do, right? Now we're getting to the point where these intimidation tactics are not working. Like, you get the letter and you're showing the middle finger to the government, like, come at me, right? So I'm assuming, again, I'm not sure exactly, that this is just one of those intimidation tactics, because legally there's nothing here. I know the Iranian government's laws are insane, but even based on their own backwards legal standards, you can't do stuff like this, even based on Iran government's standards. Do you understand what I mean?
Wow, I learned. You taught me something today.
Yeah. No, yeah, you can't do that. Even based on the legal system, the legal framework that exists in Iran, you can't do that. You can't do that crap.
A lot of
And
people
here's
are.
the thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
No, you go.
Because a lot of people think that their laws in Iran are just all over the place and anybody could do anything. People didn't bother to go learn the limited rights that they have in Iran, because they think, like, the government doesn't care about my rights. They're going to do whatever they want.
I mean,
but now that, yeah, okay, but here's the thing. It's not fair, because people who know actually their rights have been able to play the system and get out with many things. So it's the type of black and white thinking that we have to try to avoid. So a lot of Iranians think that if I say, actually, if you know your rights, there are some things you could do, they think that I'm defending the Islamic Republic. I'm like, oh, you're saying the law has any meaning in this country. So you're saying that this is a country of laws and standards. So you're saying the Islamic Republic has some good things in it. I'm like,
okay.
I'm not, I'm as much against the Islamic Republic as the rest of you. Okay. But we have observed that people who know the ins and outs of the legal system in Iran have managed to use it to get out sometimes. So don't throw your hands up in the air and be like, yeah, this is just a jungle and nothing matters. Like, that's not going to help, so it's not going to help. It's good to know. It's good to know.
I'm saying it's worth a try. Okay. It's worth a try.
Yeah. Especially now that intimidation is working less than before. So if there's no legal framework for something and people are doing something to you, you could use their own legal framework to throw it at them. Like, because people's power is slowly increasing against the government. Oh, some people don't like that because they think like me saying that will bring hope in the system. And they're like, don't bring hope that the legal framework will work, because we want people to just be completely against the regime as a whole. So if you show that you could use the legal system as a way to get out of things, then people are not going to be revolutionary, because people are going to be like, well, this is turning out kind of okay. I guess this might turn out well and people are like, don't let them think that, because we want to topple the regime. So that's how sometimes you get their reaction. But I will tell them like, hey, if you want to topple the regime, it's better to do it outside of prison than inside prison, right? So try to use the legal system to get out, man. Like, anyways. Yeah. Anyways, I'm getting into too much detail.
No, yeah. I love to hear it though. I mean, this is what people come here for, right? They come here for the detail, and we come here. I love talking about these stories with you in particular, because you can provide so much insight that isn't available to me in English media, right? It's so helpful. So thank you.
Right. Yeah. And Drews is saying you shouldn't hide the truth. Exactly. That's agree. So here's a comment by somebody saying, you want to read these comments? Well, let's go down.
Oh yeah, someone reacted to this news on Twitter saying, what happened to the Hippocratic Oath? Is the Hippocratic Oath even a global practice?
It's not a law. It's just
not
like
a law. It's a philosophy.
It's a principle.
It's a creed.
It's a principle. It's a creed. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And then what is this? Masih al-Najat posted something.
Oh yeah, it's just, man. Yeah, I mean, women getting assaulted and stuff. It's yeah. For the hijab, once again, I mean, unfortunately, nothing new.
Yeah.
And you made me think of this song. The past few days, I've had a bunch of Persian rap stuck in my head. I've been like blasting Persian rap in my car as I drive around. And I can teach. Should I teach like a Persian phrase of the week that related to this news? Because it made me think of it. Okay, so in this one song that I really love, the chorus, it goes, Marbakul Nazam. So that means death to the whole system.
Right. Yeah. Yes. I like how excited you get learning Persian words. All right, but we should move on. We should go to the next news. Okay. So, can we clap for the next news?
We don't like this, but yes, no one died.
Nobody died. Next news.
Atheism under fire. The fight for existence in religious Kenya. The Atheists in Kenya Society, or AKS for short, the first atheist organization in Kenya, is battling for its existence after a Christian bishop and politician filed a case to suspend its registration. Bishop Stephen Nichu claimed that AKS's activities violated the Kenyan constitution, arguing that they undermined religious beliefs and created cynical effects within society. AKS has been vocal about what it sees as the disproportionate religious influence in Kenyan government, despite Kenya being an officially secular democracy. Harrison Mumia, president of AKS, expressed concern about the state of secularism in Kenya, stating, quote, atheism is not palatable within the government because religious groups are powerful in Kenya. The current administration is ultra-religious and running on that strength. So we may see secularism diminishing and religion playing a bigger role in public life, end quote. The case highlights the tension between religious and secular groups in Kenya, where an estimated 100,000 of its 55 million population identify as atheists. So I wanted to cover this for a couple of reasons. One of them is that The Guardian, the UK's Guardian, actually wrote a full article about this issue, and they did a full profile of the Atheist Society, the Atheists in Kenya Society. And that made me really excited. One, because I'm just always excited to see like atheist groups covered in major news, period. Even if what we talk about on this show is literally just that atheists like got coverage, I'm going to cover it because it's a really positive sign and it's good. It deserves highlighting, right? Let alone atheists and atheist rights and secular groups and secularism in a country like Kenya, where these groups are not as established, where it is way more stigmatized than places in the US. Like groups like AKS are really at the forefront of atheist activism, right? They're doing it in some of the hardest places. It's some of the hardest work, right? And finally, I wanted to cover this also to talk about what they're dealing with right now. There are politicians and government and Christian bishops coming after them and trying to revoke the official registration of their organization that they fought so hard to establish. Because even when AKS was trying to become an organization, they faced severe discrimination. There were government officials that would refuse to file the paperwork. They'd like turn in all the paperwork as required of them by law. People would refuse to file it. It would get lost. Like in this article, it also profiled another man who wants to set up like a Kenyan Skeptic Society, a different group, and it should have taken months. The process normally takes only like 4 months. It's been over a year and he's received no feedback, nothing back, right? So they already face a lot of discrimination. They've tried to get their status revoked before and they had to fight it in court. And luckily they were able to win that court case. And now they have to go to bat and go fight it again. Because people think that their mere existence as an established society like is negative towards Kenya or even like anti-Kenyan. So yes, that's more background to the story.
Did they give any reason for why like they are taking this away from them? Like did they explicitly say that?
I can pull up a specific quote, but basically it's such a religious argument. It's basically like, oh yeah, this like undermines society. Okay, here's what the bishop who's coming after them had to say. Nichu claims the group's activities violate the Constitution, which, quote, acknowledges the existence of God. He argues that AKS has, quote, through public statements and via its social media platforms, expressed its distaste against religion, creating cynical effects within the larger society and undermined people's beliefs in religion. And then this statement is what really like is the self-report. He said, in Kenya, you cannot divorce government and religion. You find that people in government are also part of the church and people in the church are also part of the government. So there's no boundary.
Wow. So just violating. So that seems to be more against our constitution than these people's.
Yes, Armin, that's a good point.
So like these people are violating our constitution because why? Because our constitution acknowledges that there's a God. Okay, but they're not violating it. They're not challenging the constitution. They just have a different opinion. But you are violating the constitution because your constitution is supposed to be secular, and you're saying that religion and your government cannot be separated. You are the one here that is violating your constitution. So weird.
Yeah, I think one thing that was really interesting about this article is it was talking about all the ways in which the church and politicians work hand in hand. So it's a very transparent situation where people are like, politicians and church leaders, powerful church leaders. Kenya is a very religious society, which apparently, well, as we've covered recently, apparently has a major cult problem because of how religious it is and also how easy it is to become a pastor with zero credentials. And then these high profile pastors just like blatantly work hand in hand with government officials, just being like, oh yeah, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Like, you turn a blind eye, I promote you, we give each other money. Like,
Right.
it seems like it's all very in the open. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for paying attention to all of this.
Yeah.
And
So
bringing it up.
guys, make sure to go look up AKS, the Atheist in Kenya Society. Go give them some support. Maybe just send them an email or something, just sharing that you
Legal
support them.
help.
Like, those kinds of messages actually really do make activists like us feel a lot better.
I mean, are they going to challenge this legally?
Yes. Yeah. And
Okay.
Harrison Mumia, the president, was saying that he's like feeling, pretty positive at the moment, at least as the writing of this article, about his chances, given that they had precedent and that they fought this off before. But it's still, it's a long process. It's an arduous process. It's an expensive process. It's not, fun.
And thank you to the Guardian for covering this as well. It's not usually, we don't see atheists being covered like this on mainstream media that often. So I really appreciate that.
Oh wait, yes. Okay, so if you scroll down to the bottom of the article, can you pull it up real quick, or I can pull it up?
No, here I got it.
D is reminding me that actually maybe I should just put it here. The Atheist in Kenya Society is raising money for their legal expenses.
Oh, nice,
so
nice.
I can provide that.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you for reminding me, B. So I just put the link in the live chat, and a little bit can go a long ways.
Yeah.
So consider supporting atheists doing the hard work, guys.
Yeah. And atheists at the front line fighting for secularism, where it matters the most. So thank you. All right. Can we clap for the next news? Oh no. I guess not. Huh?
Yeah, this is bad. No one died, but it's just so bad.
But they could have. It seems like they could have.
Yeah.
What the hell? What is this
crazy
news?
Yeah.
Okay. Next news.
Next news. Firebombing targets pro-LGBT church after right-wing YouTubers visit. A pro-LGBT church in Plano, Texas, found itself the target of a firebombing on July 23rd, just weeks after being featured by Bo Alford, a right-wing anti-LGBT YouTuber. While there were no injuries in the fire, authorities are investigating the incident, which occurred at the Community Unitarian Universalist Church. Alford, who calls himself a pro-lib troller and frequently targets LGBT individuals and churches in his videos, has denied any involvement in the fire. The church has been on high alert since Alford's visit, with church officials reviewing building security and working with the Plano Police Department. In an impassioned response to the allegations, Alford said, quote, "If you watch the video, you will see members of the church having nothing but nice things to say about us. The fact that we are being labeled as a hate group and being tied to this fire in any way is appalling." While the authorities have yet to confirm a direct link between Alford and the fire, investigations remain ongoing, casting a spotlight onto the increasingly heated environment surrounding LGBT rights and those who oppose them. So, I thought this was an important news to cover, and Dee wanted me to highlight this because forgive me if I misquote you, Dee, but she was basically saying that this is important to demonstrate that this kind of content and these kind of views like can have real world consequences, right? And so to give more context, so this guy went and filmed this video, and Armin, I sent you some of his other videos. So he deleted the video in which he goes to this church. I tried to go watch it so I could be like objective or like really see for myself. I wanted to see for myself how he's framing this issue, because when I'm reading about this from like an LGBT news site explicitly, you know, they're going to have a certain lens. I wanted to go see it myself. He deleted the video, so I couldn't. So I have to rely on what other people say is in the video. And apparently he went to this church. And for anyone that isn't familiar, like Unitarian Universalists are like, it's like one step away from being an atheist. Unitarian Universalists, in my opinion, it's kind of like, you know, all paths lead to one truth. Like you kind of examine a lot of different religious traditions and religious texts and take the best parts out of all of them. And it's just kind of like very hippy dippy kumbaya. So that was the kind of denomination this church is. But according to reporting in this video, he talks about how he wanted to expose them as false teachers and described the church as pagan and satanic. And his tactic, and when he films a lot of these videos, because I've watched his content before, actually way before this, is, how should I put it? He goes and presents himself as someone that's on their side, and then asks like questions that are framed in a way that the interlocutor would still give him a response, but he's using questions that would be inflammatory to his own audience. So it's like just enough to fly under the radar of who he's trying to talk to, but on topics that are going to get a specific reaction out of the people he's pandering to, right? And so apparently that's what he did in this situation. And that's why he's like, oh, people in the church have nothing but nice things to say about me, blah, blah, blah. But Armin, what do you think about all this?
I don't think this is fair. I mean, even if we don't if we don't agree with the guy, and even if the firing is linked to his video, that was obviously not his intention.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what are we going to do? Like, can we not go and ask, like, what if I go, for example, and interview a bunch of right-leaning people just to show you guys how extreme their views are?
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, somebody comes and, I don't know, does something horrible to one of them because they saw my video. Like, should I have not made that video? Like, should I? Like, here's the, if I go and interview a bunch of fascists, right? And come and like, oh my God, guys, look how crazy these people's views are. And one people like, one of the people in India is like, oh my God, these people are horrible, and goes like, I don't know, beats the crap out of one of them. Should I have not made that video? I mean, I'm not saying it's equivalent to like these people who are being firebombed are equivalent to fascists. I hope people understand what I'm saying. I'm trying to say something that people can't take the wrong way. What I'm saying is that even if because of his video, this firebombing happened, if he didn't make the video in a way that was meant to cause something like that, then is he at fault?
Not necessarily, no.
Right.
But
because if that's our standard, then we can't make a whole bunch of content. Mm-hmm. What if, then we should just stop making content. We can't just.
And to be clear, based on the reports I read from the church, the firebombing happened at night, so no one was there, if I'm remembering correctly. And also there was only damage to the front door, but everyone is still like really freaked out, understandably so. But I asked, do you want to address Dee's comment first or talk about his style?
Yeah, because it's about what I'm saying. Because it's about what I'm saying.
So Dee is saying stochastic terrorists demonize and dehumanize groups of people through propaganda to incite lone wolf violence against those groups. How do you define stochastic terrorism for someone who doesn't know?
That's okay. I don't think that is necessarily. First of all, did he demonize and dehumanize people, or was he just
Well,
disagreeing
by
with
calling
them?
them
Because not
false
that
preachers and calling the church satanic and pagan, I mean, when you call something
Right.
satanic, I guess you're literally demonizing it.
right, yeah. So did he do that? Did he do that?
Yeah, he called them false teachers and said that they were pagan and
Demon-
satanic.
Okay, so yeah, satanic. Okay, so we could. That is bad. That is not stochastic terrorism. Stochastic terrorism is when you make it obvious that it would be make it kind of obvious that it would be a good idea for somebody to do something about something. You know what I mean? I mean, we
Yeah.
could look up the definition if you want. I mean, I'm not defending the act of demonization or dehumanization. That is bad on its own, but that's different from stochastic terrorism. Let's see what the definition. Stochastic terrorists demonize. Oh, never mind. I'm wrong. I've been proven wrong. D is right. Demonize and dehumanize groups of people through propaganda to incite lone wolf violence against those groups. Okay, so the intention is there's an intention here. Okay, so that's literally what D said. So I was wrong and D is correct. So thank you for that, D. But however, I still have an issue whether or not we could say that this is stochastic terrorism because if you see in the definition that D provides, it says to incite. Do we know that the intention was there?
Well, is the operative intention in this definition the demonization and dehumanization, or is it on the incitement? Because there's certainly an intention to demonize and dehumanize. Certainly, there's
No,
that
yeah,
intention.
no. When it says to incite lone wolf violence, that means that you have to show the intention, not just the intention to demonize and dehumanize. You also need to show the intention to incite violence. Do we know that there was an intention to incite violence? Because if we can't see that, then based on the definition, then that wouldn't be stochastic terrorism.
Well, I don't.
No, so D is saying QAnon does the same thing. Again, that's a different person. That's a different group. If you could show the intention to incite violence with QAnon, we're talking about this guy. I don't know if we could show the intention to incite violence.
That's trickier. But so I asked you to watch like a few videos from this guy in general. So to prepare for this news segment. So what did you think about his content in the video that I sent you?
Yeah, so I didn't see an incitement to violence there, but I could see what he was trying to do. He was trying to get reactions out of people that he could show how crazy these people are and like look at these insane woke people and like stuff like that.
Well,
that's what he was trying to do.
For context, he went to like a pride parade or something and was asking people about childhood transition and asking people loaded questions.
Right.
And basically going to go find like the weirdest looking, most unattractive people he could find to then feature.
Yeah, so we're not endorsed. If I say that there was I couldn't find an intention to incite violence in that video, that doesn't mean that I'm endorsing the video. I hope people don't see this as a defense of the video. I'm just saying, so Darko is saying, pretty sure people are paid to prove things like that. Yeah. And it's not us. That's not us, right? So it's amazing to me how so many people are sure that this person was trying to incite violence, given that there are people who there wouldn't be a field of experts getting paid to figure that out if it was just easy to determine people's intentions so easily. You wouldn't need experts for that if it was that easy. Right?
Yeah.
So I just don't want people to be sure. Just because we disagree with somebody and don't like their message, I don't want us to look at things in black and white and just go all the way. Like, oh, I don't like this guy, and just stochastic terrorism. Like, okay, is it though? I mean, even if they are, I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying it's good to be like questioning things. It's good to be skeptical. It's good to be skeptical, people. That's all I'm saying. It's helpful to be skeptical. Oh, look, okay, so like Mariam is being such a generalist here. I don't know what she's saying here, saying, I know Christians, I know white Christians, this is what they want. What? This is a mass generalization of white Christians. Like, this is not how we should be talking about any groups of people. Like, this is exactly what I was talking about Hindus. White Christians are different from each other. They want different things. They do not agree with each other.
Yeah, no, but statistically, we have data behind the fact that white evangelical Christians are more likely to hold way more negative views towards LGBT people. That's established.
Yes. Yeah, but I'm talking about the generalization, obviously. I'm not talking about, I don't say that that's not how is what I'm saying, like what you said and what I said is true at the same time. There are certain trends within certain groups of people that does not apply to all the people within that group. These two things are true at the same time. So I'm saying we shouldn't generalize. It says, don't fall into their trap, Armin. To the trap of what? White Christians? I'm sure not all of them are like this. It's like, look, you see, this is part of their whole allure of it is that it's not easily proven.
She's
like
talking about
thing.
stochastic terrorism. That's what she's talking about.
Yeah. You don't know that this is one of those examples. How do you know? Like, okay, just because the ones who are doing it in a way that it's not easily proven, that doesn't mean that we get to say that this is one of them if we don't have evidence for it. Like, oh, here's the thing. Murderers try to make it so that you can't find out that they're a murderer. Can I then go and accuse somebody as a murderer even without evidence? Because, well, other murderers try to hide the fact that they're murderers. Anyways, I think I'm done here. I think it's pretty obvious what I'm saying. Okay. You're saying you're too skeptical for your own good sometimes, my love. There's no. This is such an anti-skeptical. I'm too skeptical. You are deciding that this person is a stochastic terrorist without evidence, and I'm like, well, maybe it's not, and you think that's too skeptical. If that's your version of too skeptical, then I'm proudly too skeptical. Anyways.
You know what? Here's the thing. Every week, there's going to be someone that Armin latches onto like a dog with a chew toy and doesn't let up. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
And this week, Mariam, my friend, it is you.
Oh, look at this. No. Let me go on oxymoron just a little bit, because look how insane this guy is. It's like, except maybe upper caste Hindus. You literally talk like that in your older videos about Hindus. That too, without stats and numbers. That is the opposite of what we did. I remember on our show, people were saying bad things about upper caste Hindus, and I was like, listen, is as bad to be bigoted about lower caste people as it is to be about upper caste people. Because if you are upper caste, what do they call upper caste? It's something that you inherit. It's something that you're born within a caste. So it's as wrong to demonize somebody that is upper caste. We advocated for that. This is the oxymoron, okay? Is not oxymoron. He's just a moron, because he's presenting us the very opposite of our messages. He's just butthurt, and he just can't take the fact that we are not as racist and bigoted as he is, and he wants to demonstrate. He's trying to paint this picture of us that is just not true. I have been so careful about not to generalize upper caste Hindus either, not just lower caste people. Anyways, Can we clap for
I remember we've banned people from like the nasty stuff they say about Brahmins. Like,
Yes,
wild.
exactly. We ban people for that. And he's like, we're bigoted against upper caste people, even though we ban people for being bigoted against upper caste people.
There's a lot of actually people say some wild bigoted stuff about Brahmins that is like intolerable. It's crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's just toxicity all around, girl. It's just a lot of toxicity, girl. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. So can we clap for the next news?
This is wild. Yes, we can.
Okay. Next news.
Indonesian Islamic cleric accused of blasphemy for gender equality claims. This is not going where you think it's going. Okay. Indonesia's 77-year-old Islamic cleric, Panji Gumilang, head of the Al Zaitun school, has been charged with blasphemy and hate speech over his unorthodox views on gender equality in Islam. His school, known for allowing men and women to pray together and letting women become preachers, has been criticized by the Islamic Clerical Council of Indonesia for, quote, wrong interpretations of the Quran. Although Indonesia is a secular state known for religious pluralism, conservative interpretations of Islam have been gaining traction. Gumilang defended his teachings, claiming equality between men and women according to his interpretations of the Quran. Human rights groups have voiced concerns over Indonesia's blasphemy laws, with Andreas Harsono of Human Rights Watch stating, quote, if a Muslim cleric is accused of committing blasphemy against Islam for promoting women's rights, something must be terribly wrong with both Indonesia's blasphemy law and the mainstream clerical groups. So this was funny to me. I think it was Dee that sent this in our chat where we share or suggest news to each other. And I responded to it. I was like, seriously? Blasphemy for just being like, hey, let's treat the sexes equally. And then I'm like, wait, okay, that kind of is blasphemy though. So basically, he's in trouble for letting men and women pray together and letting women be preachers and just generally being, I guess you would say, like a moderate or even a progressive Muslim. Abdi John is saying, woman praying? Well, Armin, what is your reaction to this?
I mean, how you define blasphemy? Is this really blasphemy? Like, I thought blasphemy is supposed to be against like God or something holy, against like, is sinning? Because if this is the definition of blasphemy, every sin would be a blasphemy. Blasphemy would be, I don't know. Does this fit under the definition of blasphemy?
I guess if you're being technical, it would probably more appropriately be labeled as deviation.
Yeah,
technically it's more deviation. And
I think they're just calling so many things bid'ah.
Innovation.
Oh, bid'ah or bid'at. Yeah, I think they're just calling so many things blasphemy that they've lost control. Yeah, okay, let's read these comments that Dee has found for us.
Someone replied, wow, so unorthodox. I can't believe he said that you should treat the opposite sex with respect. What a crazy thing to charge someone over.
I mean, it shows what Islam stands for, so I like that.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
someone else responded, with the strengthening of religious laws in the criminal code in December of 2022, it's not surprising.
Islamic religious law.
Yeah.
You missed Islamic. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Zaid in our live chat is saying changing rules in Islam is blasphemy. I guess that's like the closest interpretation you could get.
Right. Yes, that is blasphemy. But unless somebody claims that that's not Islamic, you know, and then it, I mean, if only if you are right about the fact that that is supposed to be an Islamic rule. So what if I said, well, actually, if you go back to the time of Muhammad, men and women were fighting in wars side by side with each other, you know, blah blah blah, like, and they were like, there was no, and Muhammad didn't specifically say that women and men should be praying separate from each other. So, like, you know, then you could be like, okay, who's blaspheming here, you know? That would be a pointless discussion within Islamic scholars anyways, right? Okay, share this tab instead.
Well, let me make sure we're on the right news because we had a little bit of a mix-up this week. So
I'm doing India one.
yeah, perfect. Yeah, you have the right one. Okay, so guys, I know probably a lot of people want us to cover this train shooting that happened in India recently, which is like a really big deal. And we will cover the train shooting, but I Susanna did whoopsies. It's my fault. And so some behind the scenes, I messed up something. And so we'll talk about it next week.
Okay, sounds good. So, clapworthy. Yes. Oh no! Nobody died. No. Okay,
Someone died.
Somebody died. Okay, no clapping. Next news then.
Okay, next news. Hindu mob attacks mosques in India, Islamic imam killed. A wave of violence has swept through the suburb of the Indian capital, New Delhi, culminating in the tragic killing of a 19-year-old Mulana, I can never say that right, Saad, a deputy imam by a mob of far-right Hindu nationalists. The mob set fire to the Anjuman Jama Mosque and instigated violence, leading to the death of a prayer leader and injuries of others. The unrest followed clashes between Hindus and Muslims in a neighboring district, with tensions further escalated by ongoing campaigns against Islamic Friday prayers by far-right Hindu groups and the ruling BJP party. Quote, "This is crazy." Sorry, this quote from the authorities. Deputy Police Commissioner Nitish Agarwal grimly summarized the incident, stating, quote, "A group of 50 to 60 miscreants resorted to firing and arson at Amjun in the early hours of Tuesday, which led to the death of one person and wounded another. Authorities have made several arrests, but tensions continue to run high in the area of Gurugram, reflecting deeper tensions and religious strife within the community." So, Gurugram has been a subject of a lot of religious tension over the past few years. We've talked about how there were conspiracies of land jihad because Muslims were praying in public and on the side of the roads. And part of the problem was why they were doing that is because there isn't enough space in their mosques to go pray, and they're not allowed to go build new ones. And so what happened is it previously incited a lot of there's a lot of violence surrounding that and all these conspiracy theories. And we so that's just context for where this happened. And I believe that Gurugram is one of the few districts in New Delhi that is actually Muslim majority. I could be wrong. And there was this procession that was happening that was supposed to go through, my understanding anyways, is it was supposed to go through a specific area, and then it went off track or in an unpermitted area, and then it just literally resulted in rioting of people vandalizing shops, burning shops, and then someone opened fire in this mosque, and this person was killed in this incident.
Wow. So Hindu terrorism, basically, no? Can we say that?
Some people are calling it that. I don't know what the standard of the definition is for that kind of thing is. You know what I mean?
Because I don't know how we get all these narratives that, oh, this is just something that Islamists do and Hindus don't. And it's just, we keep getting proven time and time again that, no, this is not exclusive to Muslim radicals. Hindu radicals have the same kind of problem. And I don't know if people still have that narrative. Do you think that's fair to call them out for people who be like, well, at least we don't behead people?
Oh my God. I can't believe people still say that. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Especially with the stark rise in violence we've seen over the past 10 years. It's really shocking. It's really, really shocking. Right. Particularly with the train incident that we need to talk about. That's an incident that more people are just straight up calling terrorism. To give a brief overview of that, what happened is there was a train constable, and he's supposed to be there to protect the people on the train, right? And then apparently he had an argument with one of his superiors who was Muslim, and he shot his superior, then shot this Muslim man that was immediately next to them, and then walked through 2 more train cars and killed these 2 bearded Muslim guys as he went. Wow. And so people are calling that cold-blooded murder terrorism. This is a riot mob situation.
Do you think, based on what you're saying, do you think this is just increasing more, or do you think this is becoming more of a problem in India, and it's going to increase as a problem in India?
I would like to see the statistics on how. I know things in general have increased drastically over the past few years. Based on the graphs and statistics that I've seen, it's really shocking. The numbers are crazy.
Look at this comment.
How much it's increased within the past year, the past 2 years, in a smaller time frame. I don't know.
Look at this comment that Dee found. So read the first comment by Zulfi, and then the comment responded by Vivek, which seems from India.
Yeah, someone just was describing the news, saying Imam killed after Hindu mob attacks mosque in India's Gurugram. Oh my God.
So this is a reply.
Can I even say this on YouTube? Okay, someone replied saying revenge is required. Otherwise, you all will eliminate us right away. First attack against innocents, always from Muslims. Check it out. Jesus.
So this is the justification for a cycle of violence that just gonna lead. This is just an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth kind of mentality, which is quite ironically an Abrahamic mindset that we constantly get reminded of. But yeah, an eye for an eye is gonna make the whole world blind. That's, I guess, it's a good time to remind people of that it's not how things are supposed to work. But yeah, people are like, wow, damn, geez, exactly. Anyways, you with us, Sus? What are you checking something?
Huh?
You seem like you're checking something.
I was looking at the news article that I pulled this source from just to check to see if there was any other detail I wanted to include.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, here. Do you want to read this comment by Eric? While I grab
Eric is saying, riots targeting Muslims because Muslims engage in business. If Brahmins engaged in business instead of Muslims, Modi's people would be funding radical Dalits to attack them. What?
You don't know these things. No, you don't know these things.
That makes no sense. What?
I don't know. I don't know why I highlighted it.
Why did you highlight that? That's nonsense.
I don't know. I don't know why I saw it. Eric, what are you talking about? Jesus Christ, guys. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. Can we? Oh wait, we got a super chat. Here, Gaging American with another weird comment, as usual. I don't even know what this means. Thank you for the super chat, though.
Oh, okay. So the People's Republic of China has Hui female imams. Where's the anger? So basically, he sent me an article recently about how there's an ethnic community, an ethnic minority community in China that actually has female imams, and it's like way more common there, and it's part of their culture.
Right. Well, because it's so far away for people to get. It's like it's China. People.
Yeah.
This is the mentality people have. Like, is China even on the same planet? Like, that's how they think. That's not like they think like it's just like something somewhere weird. China does China things, right? So that's why people. It's just too far for people to care. Anyways. Can I clap for the next news?
Oh yeah, this is wild.
What the? Are you serious? This is a joke. Okay.
This is what I have found reported.
Again, guys, this is what's being reported on the news. Let me see. Yeah, on some good, news sites, like on news sites that are considered to be legit, high in credibility. So, if it sounds weird, that's not our fault. Next news.
Love heart emojis, a dangerous crime in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. In an unexpected legal twist in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, the simple act of sending a love heart emoji to a girl can now lead to serious legal consequences. According to laws in both countries, these tokens of affection are deemed to incite debauchery and harassment. Not you dropping the hearts in the chat. Incite debauchery and harassment, crimes that carry fines and jail time. Kuwaiti lawyer Haya al-Shahalahi recently warned that those found guilty could face up to 2 years in prison and a fine of $6,499. A Saudi cybercrime expert further clarified that in Saudi Arabia, sending red heart emojis on WhatsApp could be considered harassment, emphasizing that, quote, certain images and expressions during online conversations may turn into a harassment crime if a lawsuit is filed by the aggrieved party. This legal stance has led to a renewed conversation about digital communication norms, privacy, cultural values in the modern age. So, this is wild. Apparently, sending some heart emojis can get you in some trouble. I don't even know what to make of this.
Do you want me to steel man Saudi Arabia? Because I can steel man Saudi Arabia.
Oh my!
Do you want me to?
Let's hear it.
Do you want me to spin this as a way that might like make this okay? I don't know if this is the case though, right?
Okay.
I know it looks ridiculous, but I can think of a situation where this would not be ridiculous, right?
Tell us.
What if you don't want somebody messaging you and they are in love with you and you don't want anything to do with them and they be harassing you? Then if they sent you a heart symbol, is it the heart symbol here that is becoming a crime, or is it the fact that they're just messaging you while you don't want to be messaged by them? It's not technically the heart symbol that is being criminalized. It's the harassment.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know for a fact, but I can imagine that they already have legislation for that form of harassment. People are also raising in the live chat that the block button is available. It is available to you. I can just go off of what I have seen reported, and it's specifically that the heart messages to girls can be considered a crime of incitement to debauchery. A member of the the Anti-Fraud Association of Saudi Arabia emphasized that using certain images and expressions during online harassment during online conversations may turn into a harassment crime.
Okay, what about
According to
I mean,
Saudi cybercrime experts, sending red hearts on WhatsApp could be considered harassment within the country's jurisdiction.
What about? Hold on. Let it show up. Hold on. Oh, it doesn't show up. Interesting. My emojis did not show up on the on StreamYard. It says not currently available. Okay, can somebody post an eggplant and some water drops? Because I was trying to show.
Wait, someone did. My wife's boyfriend did. He said,
Oh, there
okay,
you go.
eggplant, water sign. How about that?
Hey, YouTube is saying this, like, is not letting. What the hell? YouTube is not letting me use certain emojis together. When
On
I
your
put
phone?
eggplants, yeah. Okay, now the third time I think is a charm. I think YouTube is blocking me for posting. Oh, finally, there we go. Okay, would this be allowed? I thought YouTube is like blocking me from posting two emojis together. So this would be. Do you think if you sent this to somebody, would this be harassment? Would this be considered?
In Saudi Arabia, I don't know. I'm assuming. I mean, it's like that can be considered harassment here in the U.S. I mean, socially, I don't know if legally it would be.
Give
my
jizya. That's a clever. That's clever, Seed. I like that.
I can't believe.
That is very clever. That's so for people
my
who are just
God.
listening. No, never mind. I'm not going to explain this. It's going to ruin the joke. Okay, so here's the thing. I was trying to steelman Saudi Arabia, but if it's just any heart to any girl, that would be you could get into legal trouble for it. Then that's obviously ridiculous. However, if they saying like, okay, if you're sending unwanted messages to girls, that could get you into legal trouble. It's still ridiculous because people could just block each other, but it's less ridiculous. So I just want to be fair. Just because we hate the Saudi government, I don't want us to just be like, not steelman their position. You know what I mean? I just wanted to think about an interpretation where it will seem less ridiculous.
Yeah.
To maybe,
I think,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know, because it is pretty insane. Like when I read this, you're like, I don't know. Is this? Yeah. It's
Somebody commented.
Wow.
Look at this comment. That's pretty common.
I'm called them heartless people.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go to. Oh wait, was that the last news? Oh no, we have one more news. Ooh, can we clap for this one?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have the link for us to post it in the live chat?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Next news.
Volunteer for Atheist Republic. Guys, we are still looking for a couple of crucial volunteers on our team. So I just wanted to advertise this once again. In particular, who I need the most right now is I would love to find someone that could help us with bookkeeping. And I would love to find someone who could help me with grant writing as well. This is particularly important for a number of reasons within our organization. And unfortunately, we've had some like turnover and dropout. And so I am just advertising once again, putting the call out there for this position and this opportunity to, work for Atheist Republic, help us extend our cause, help us grow and improve as an organization. Because especially in these realms, like I think there is a lot of room for improvement, which is something I'm constantly thinking about as the CEO. I wanted to put the word out again about our volunteer positions that are open. So I will put the form in the live chat, and also it is linked in the description below. Armin, I know that there are a few positions that you also need help with right now. So on your side of things, what are some of the tasks that you need the most help with?
So let's look at all the available positions right now. Okay, so we have video editor, graphic designer, grant research and writing assistant. So this is what Susie really needs right now. What I need right now so much is video editor. That would be amazing if we could get video editors, right? Um, so this is team coordinator and volunteer application managers. This would help speed up the process of getting volunteers, because that itself, it takes a long time. English to Persian translator, voiceover narrator. This one we already have one, so we don't need that. Guest finder and coordinator for bringing into our shows. Speaking opportunity hunter, news curator and writer. Art team manager and payment coordinator. This would be for our blasphemous arts. Financial coordinator and bookkeeper. This is what Susie needs the most right now. Social media manager, Drupal web developer, live stream co-host. So somebody who would be in the background here and would be highlighting people's comments and stuff like that, right? So that would be very helpful. So I already read that. UX UI designer and consultant, legal affairs consultant. We get into a lot of legal troubles, so we need advice on that. Marketing advisor, Iranian news, politics, and history researcher, Quran and Hadith researcher, Christian theology and history researcher, Hindu scripture and history researcher, T-shirt designer, meme designer. These are the positions. Yes, that we are looking for.
But the ones that I want to prioritize the most and put a big call to action for would definitely be bookkeeper, video editor, and grant writer. Those are definitely the things we need to prioritize the most as an organization.
Right. Where is this? These are the ones, right? So video editor, grant research and writing assistants, and financial coordinator and bookkeeper. Yeah, so bookkeeper, video editor, and grants research. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because the grants, we need the grants because we need to make sure that we're not in the red, that our expenses, and we have some projects actually that we are spending a lot of money on, and we need to make sure those projects, we can continue those projects. They're very helpful projects as well. So yeah.
Abidjanu in the live chat is asking, Armin, how many hours a week do you require of a video editor?
There's no limit. We will communicate and come up with something that fits with your schedule.
It's more task based than specific time devoted. So it's like we have a specific number of tasks that we need done, and if you do it like really fast, then.
And also, we need somebody that we can make sure that does not quit. Okay, because there are people who come, they seem interested, and we spend time on them, and then they don't follow. Then they leave, and they end up taking more time than helping us. It would be better if they didn't apply at all, because we spend so much time communicating with them, and then they leave, and that's a major cost to us. Yeah. So that's more important. Like, even if you're committing a little bit, as long as we can somehow figure out that it's consistent and it's just not going to be temporary, that's the more important thing. It could be little, it could be a lot, but as long as it just continues.
Yeah. Or, I mean, here's the thing. What I always say when I work with our volunteers, because, like, I'm a volunteer too, right? Like, this is just how I choose to spend my time. And so what I say to everyone, and what's really important to me as someone that manages these people, is like, I have so much respect for the time that people do give us. I don't take that lightly. It's the most valuable thing that we have as an organization, period. So I take that really seriously. And I say to people, because I've had like bad managers before, right? And I'm like, hey, if you're not able to do something for whatever reason, if you're not able to do your responsibility, that's okay. I just need to know in advance. As soon as you know that you can't do it, please just tell me. So then I can adjust accordingly and I don't have to scramble. As long as I'm not scrambling, like, even if it's not always consistent, that's all I have to know is just communicate that. And I really like want to establish that respect within our team. And I really try to do a good job with that. So yeah, it's just like there has to be that communication. Yeah.
So young atheist saying, do you need any experience in live stream with co-host? No, I mean the live stream co-host is a very easy position because you just have to be able to be in the background, not come up like you're in the background. You're managing things, including making sure that comments that the comments, you're highlighting the comments that are valuable for us to have on the screen. Because when Susie's speaking, sometimes I can't pay attention to the live chat at the same time, and there's so many good comments that if they were highlighted, it would add to the value of the show. So that would be helpful if we could have that. Yeah, we do that on the Tesla does that on the Persian show.
Yeah. Adam, I see you have some questions. How about you complete the volunteer form and then I can follow up with you in more detail. But I'm like very excited by your interest. But this is a discussion that we should have off air. So please complete the volunteer form.
Also, guys, make sure you like the video, right? Like the show right now. Do not leave. You are not allowed to leave this show. This show will be haram for you if you have not liked it. Okay, so make sure you like it, or else I'm going to come after you at the day of judgment. Okay, so like the video, and when the stream is over, make sure you leave a comment under the show as well. Thank you.
Yes, please comment. We talked about some things that YouTube doesn't like today. So your engagement actually does really help the channel. And we're on the road to 40K. Guys, if you're here and you haven't subscribed, freaking slap that like button, okay? Because we're on the road to 40K. We're like so close. Let's help get us there. We're building the ARR army, okay? We're expanding. And this is a global secular movement. We're here to have fun, build community, build belonging, and show that we care about each other across the world.
Yeah. Eric is saying, I already liked when I entered. So thank you so much, Eric. However, I'm concerned because PK is saying, I liked twice just for Armin. I mean, maybe you should like a third time because you unlike a video when you type the like button twice. That doesn't I like twice. So you liked it and then you unliked it. So make sure you like again then so that it remains likes.
Yes, and Dee is saying thank you to all the regulars here. You make the show fun. Yes, exactly. Like I have so much fun every week showing up and like hanging out with everyone. Yeah, we're a little crazy community here.
All right, guys, we're gonna head out. I'm starving. I'm gonna go eat something. But thank you for being here. We love doing this with you guys, and thank you for watching the show with us. Until next week, same time. See you. Oh, before we go, we're gonna. Oh, by the way, this thing sometimes there's a delay, so we end the show and the super chat comes in. I'm like, no, we didn't read that. That person thinks that we don't value them. No, so I'm glad that we saw this. So ironically, AR is saying another small step to 40K.
Thank you. Thank you for your super chat. It really does help our organization so much.
Thank you. All right, guys. Till next week. Bye. Mwah.